shivers in her bones. The sun and zenith rising, trying to take us all. But there's a fire between us, so what is your God? But there's a fire between us. I can't get off the carousel. I can't get off the carousel. I can't get off the carousel. I can't get off this world. Sickening taste, hope for me jokes. Images of fascist phones. Leave me up 'cause I can't breathe. Spaceman, I always wanted you to go into spaceman, intergalactic
Well, I'm in awe. I'm sitting here with a gentleman that walked around the Earth 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's unbelievable.
Well, it was unbelievable to me at the time. I didn't quite get all the way around the second time, but I tried.
Gene Cernan is being enshrined tonight at the National Aviation Hall of Fame ceremonies here at the Dayton Convention Center. And Gene, your whole family came, didn't they?
I got family and friends that I didn't expect to come. You know, it's hard to invite people to your own tea party, and yet I found these people saying, Gene, we want to come. Can we come? And I got two presenters, two Navy buddies of mine that I flew with, which really represent probably the best part of my aviation career.
Well, you've done so many things, and you were on Gemini 10.
Gemini 9.
Gemini 9, and then you were on Apollo
10, and that's when we painted that white line in the sky for Neil and Buzz so that they wouldn't get lost. And then we left the bumpy part of the road for them.
Is that when you drove the rover around?
No, that was Apollo 17. I went back to the moon after Apollo 10. We didn't land on 10.
Because you had 73 hours, I think I read, on the moon.
You know, a little over 3 days on the surface of the moon. I drove a lunar rover and had the experience of knocking a fender off, and there wasn't another car within 250,000 miles.
We brought Father Jim Fitz last night to do the invocation, and he said, now how did he knock that fender off? He said, were there potholes on the moon, or did he hit a rock? What happened?
A little bit of both. I think there are a lot of potholes there, I'll tell you.
21 miles, did it say? You drove in that rover?
Yeah, I think it was 36 kilometers. That's about 20, 25 miles, something like that. And it gave us the opportunity to explore regions of the moon from where we landed that we never would have been able to see if we had to walk. And the valley we landed in, if you can imagine, was about 20 miles long and 5 miles wide, and it was surrounded by mountains on three sides that were higher than the Grand Canyon is deep, to give you an idea of the Buzz coined a phrase, he said, magnificent desolation. And it truly is. It's awe-inspiring, unbelievable, bland in color, but the mountains rise beyond your imagination.
Last night we were driving home. I looked at the moon and I thought, we were with men that were on the moon. Now, what do you think when you look at the moon?
Sometimes I look, I get the question asked a lot, and sometimes it's disbelief even to me now. I know this happened. I know once you walk on the moon, you can never unwalk. Nobody can ever take that moment away from you. And sometimes I wonder if that was really me. I finally, after 2.5 years, finally finished an autobiography. And once I finished, I decided to read it as a reader instead of a writer. How many times did I read it while I was writing it? And I read it after it was, I saw it on a bookshelf, and I said, maybe I ought to read it myself. And I read that book. I read the experiences of one human being who had was blessed with some opportunities. And I wondered who I was reading about. I couldn't believe that that person was me who had those opportunities. But, you know, that's what I try and instill in kids. You just never know. You just never know what's in store. If you dream and
you know,
hang in there.
Your book is sold out of Books and Company. You can't get it.
That's the good news at the moment, I guess.
That's the good news. But no, it's such a thrill to have you and Buzz Aldrin here. And there were 7 enshrinees there last night at that dinner. It was really a who's who, wasn't it?
Well, I tell you, it's special to be enshrined with the kind of people that houses the historical commitments and accomplishments of those people who came before us.
Well, it's special to have you, Gene Cernan. Thank you so much for taking this time. You can get back to rehearsal now.
My pleasure being here. Thank you, and God bless.
Bye-bye. You can get back to rehearsal now.
Shut. Don't tell me I can't do it, because I can do it. To do what we do, you have to be a little arrogant.
for us being the world, a challenge of the future. The door is now cracked, but the promise of that future lies in the young people, not just in America, but the young people all over the world, learning to live and learning to work together. In order to remind all the peoples of the world, in so many countries throughout the world, that this is what we all are striving for in the future. America's challenge of today has forged man's destiny of tomorrow. And as we leave the moon and Taurus Littrow, we leave as we came, and God willing, as we shall return, with peace and hope for all mankind. Godspeed to crew of Apollo 17. The promise of that future lies in the young people, not just in America, but the young people all over the world, learning to live and learning to work together.
Sometimes I wonder if that was really me. If that was really me. And I wondered who I was reading about. I couldn't believe that that person was me.